Good morning, everyone. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening, canning recipes, a little bit of everything. It's might chilly this morning. It feels chillier today than it did yesterday, but it's not. So when I got up this morning, it was 63, and it's now, I think, 60 or 61. But there's a briskness in the air. So let me show you what took place yesterday. And so I'm going to show you the pictures, and I'm going to show you the video. And this is the final, I guess the final crown on Pop's house. And if you guys are new to us, and I know I've got a lot of new subscribers just since last year. So to give you just a quick rundown, my mother passed away unexpectedly in October last year. And so my Pop lived probably about 30 or 40 minutes away from us. And it was in their home that they had lived in for 30 some odd years, and we had talked about what would happen, what we would need to do if when one of them went on home to be with the Lord. And it was decided that we were going to bring Pop out here after Mom passed, and put him in a tiny home on our property, which was probably the best decision that we ever made. It was hard on him, guys, making that decision and giving up his home that he had lived in with my mother. They took such great joy and such great pride in it. And so yeah, it was a transition, and we weren't able to start the transition until probably around April. And we put his house on the market, and it sold pretty quick because the market then was pretty hot and people were looking for homes. It sold the first weekend that we showed it. And then we did some videos, and you may know if you've been following us for a while, where we went looking at tiny homes, and we settled on the one that he is in now. And we want to make sure that he has his independence. We want to make sure that he has his convenience, but we wanted it to be affordable to him, because just remember, guys, that if both of your parents are on Social Security and when one passes, they lose. That's one of those checks. It's whichever one is the most that they keep, and that could be substantial. And so maintaining their quality of life and their normal, what they consider normal, may not be possible. And as much as you try to work around it and figure out if they can do it, sometimes you just can't. And so we went with this tiny house option, and it's worked out really fantastic. I know it's been an adjustment for him. I know that he has struggled, but he is finally getting to a point to where he's comfortable. He's enjoying it. He's with us. We have dinner every night together. He's out there right now watering. So we get to spend time with him. He's not alone, but yet he is maintaining his independence and his privacy, which is very important to him. You know, if he feels like visiting, he can come up. If he doesn't feel like visiting, he just stays in his home. And, you know, Saturdays is his football day, and he loves to watch college football. So pretty much all day long on Saturdays, I just make him a meat and cheese tray and take back there to him. And he loves just sitting back there and watching his football. So let's go look at this the final crown on his tiny home.
Good thing that top didn't.
la que trae pues con esa porque las tienes conectadas, güey.
Pero la que estábamos usando aquella.
¿Eh?
¿Tú las conectaste?
Sí, güey, porque estaba en el...
So one of the adjustments is that Pop didn't have much storage because it is a tiny home, and he didn't have his garage that he could put his car in. Now, they just bought their car probably about 8 or 9 months before my mother passed, maybe even about 6 months. So he really wants to protect his car. And so we were able to get this carport, and this is one he picked out. It's what he wanted. And we think that it's gonna be really a great solution, because right now he's renting a storage unit, and it's like $150 a month, I believe, to store some of his stuff that he just couldn't fit inside his home. And so this came with a beautiful, a very large storage unit. So I hope they left the door unlocked. Let's look and see. Yes. So look, guys, this is a huge storage unit. Now, Greg did go ahead and do the driveway himself, and he went ahead and piled it up pretty high. So we're gonna put some pallets in here so Pop can go ahead and store his stuff and get it out of the storage unit and get rid of that cost. And it comes with 2 windows. It looks like it's pretty well put together. It took them all day yesterday. So because of lots of the high winds that we get out here, we are going with 6 of these anchors. And these are about 3 foot long, guys, with a drill type anchor. And we told them that we wanted 6 of these. Now, Greg did a pretty good job with the driveway, and he'll come in here and smooth it out a little bit. But yeah, you can see that Pop is gonna have his own entrance. He's gonna have his own carport. He's gonna have his own storage. And this is gonna give him even more flexibility, because our property is gated, and sometimes it's not real easy to come in and out when we have dogs. You have to make sure the dogs are put up and all that good stuff. But Greg is gonna put a gate right there, and and then we're gonna build him a path around the front of his tiny house, and then he will be all set, guys, to come and go as he pleases. Now, this is a 2-car carport. This is going to be just used for him unless there's a hailstorm or something coming. It's big enough for me to put my truck in, because we really don't have any covered parking out here. So, yeah. So this carport is facing north and south. North is that away. So he'll be protected from the west wind and any storms that come from the northwest, because our barn is right there and then our house. So we're not worried about the wind there. And then he's protected from the south wind because his home blocks the south wind. And then he's protected from the north wind. We've got the water well, and the well house is gonna be there, but we have our neighbor's house right there. So the only wind that we might be concerned about is the east wind, and that's when the severe storms come about. So we'll probably start to make some adjustments on that, maybe, just to make sure that it doesn't get caught in a windstorm. But we are confident that in the Lord, number one, and we're confident also that those anchors are gonna hold this down pretty well. And we think that it being up against the house is also going to give it some additional stability. So the driveway I just came down is we own half of it, and then our neighbors in the back own half of it. So it was already there. It's going to be very convenient for him to use, and for him to just drive down and come right into his carport and have even more of his independence, and allow him to come and go as he pleases. So as life has dealt us some changes in the last year, we are adapting. We are preparing. We are settling in to our new lives. It's coming up on the year anniversary of my mother's going home. We also lost my father and his wife of almost 50 years died 2 months later. They died in December. So our family has sustained some losses, and so all of my siblings are adjusting, and we are adapting as best as we can. And this is one of the ways that we are getting some stability with my pop to make sure that he is safe, he is taken care of, and that he's not by himself. So if you're faced with a tough decision like that, you might want to consider, if you have some land, a tiny home for your family member, so that they can still maintain their independence and their privacy, and you can still maintain your independence and your privacy, but you're still there together. This wasn't as much as you think it is. It was less than any home on the market here in North Texas, way less than any home on the market here in North Texas. And we had to get a septic system. We had to get permits, of course, and then Greg hooked up the electricity. We do have Pop on the water well, so he doesn't have any water bill. And I'm going to tell you that his electricity is like $65 a month to keep this thing cooled and to use all of his appliances. It's just really been a very efficient and effective way to make sure he is taken care of. And again, guys, if our parents are in a retirement home, if we would have put him in a retirement home or something, then any money that him and my mom had saved up and that they got from, or that he got from selling his home, would have been exhausted probably within 3 to 5 years. This way, he's all set, he's debt-free, and he's safe. So thank you for taking the time to watch this. I hope that maybe I answered some of your questions just by telling you what all we've done and the convenience and the efficiency of it. And if not, just go ahead and drop me a comment below. I'll be glad to answer anything that I can. And, you know, guys, thank the Lord that he gives us some alternatives, and thank the Lord that he gives us direction. So, and I thank each and every one of you for following us and for watching us and for joining. And if you're not a subscriber, we ask that you subscribe and that you give us a thumbs up, guys. And so I'm going to get busy. I got to go pick my okra, and I got to get some things settled around here. So love you all, and we will be in touch. Take care.